Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Monday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about here today. We had a lot this weekend. We had 2 episodes of Collision. We had a Smackdown show. And, of course, tonight we've got Monday Night Raw, and we've got NXT Tuesday, Dynamite on Wednesday, SmackDown on Friday. A lot of stuff to get into here today. So we'll talk about that, plus all of the news. And a lot of the news, not so good. We're now at 4 individuals involved in wrestling who've passed away over the last several days. So we'll tell you about that. We do have some good news, which is the return of Chris Bay to a wrestling ring. First time since his injury in October, he stepped inside a ring, and we'll tell you what happened there. And it was quite the awesome video that was out yesterday. We got a NXT wrestler heading to Josh Barnett's Bloodsport over WrestleMania weekend. And as noted, all of the show reviews from the last couple of days. If you would like to contact us today, we might have some time. 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. I'm F4WOnline at gmail.com, as well as F4W Online Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. Cameos, everybody! I got cameos I do for folks. They're a lot of fun, so check them out. F4W Online on Cameo. And at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. I'll be joined by Mike Sempervive after the break. Wrestling Observer Live. Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. So, man, it was a rough weekend. We had multiple individuals involved in wrestling all pass away. We had Bill Mercer at 99 years old, a voice of the former World Class. He passed away and had done a lot of things in wrestling and in just broadcasting. He's in the Texas Radio Hall of Fame, the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, on-air talent for a Dallas radio station when JFK was assassinated, the first to break the news that Lee Harvey Oswald would be charged with the murder, and also worked for World Class Championship Wrestling and a number of other promotions as well. Passed away at the age of 99, one of the oldest living individuals involved in pro wrestling. Also, artist Graham Michael was an independent wrestler, and he passed away Saturday night at a show, or after a show, in Fairborn, Ohio, Extreme Valley Wrestling. Medical emergency during the match. He collapsed, rushed to the hospital, and passed away at the hospital. This would be the second weekend in a row that someone has passed away after wrestling in an independent match. We had the former Julio Estrada, Rico Suave, who was the son of Jose Estrada Jr. of Los Boricuas in the 90s. 54 years old, he passed away. And he had been working for WWC pretty much forever. 20 titles in WWEC during his run there. He had been battling cancer and was scheduled to undergo a heart transplant. So he was in very rough shape. But he passed away. And then today it was announced that, or Dixie Carter announced, that her mother Janice passed away. Of course, Janice, if you guys remember in TNA, Abyss had like a barbed wire board or bat or something, and he named it Janice. And the inside joke was it was named after Dixie Carter's mother, Janice. Her and Bob Carter founded Panda Energy, which ended up purchasing TNA and saved them in 2002 and funded the company and kept it alive until basically 2017 when they sold to Anthem Sports and Entertainment. So obviously condolences to Dixie and everybody else that we've talked about here today. All terrible stories, but rare that you have a show. Oh, Janet was the board with spikes, I guess it was. It has been pointed out to me. But anyway, best wishes to everybody, friends and family of everybody, and sad news. A lot of sad stories.
Yeah, quite the melancholy way to start the show, but when it comes to Bill Mercer, he was the quintessential American sports broadcaster. Was there at the beginning for the Dallas Texans of the AFL, which became the Kansas City Chiefs. He was the Dallas Cowboys' very first radio play-by-play guy. He was a Dallas legend and fixture there. Any broadcaster that ever did any time in Dallas will give their praise, and many have online, give their praise to Bill Mercer. Just an unbelievable guy, and with the help of, I forget his name, Mickey something, whoever the producer was, really helped to revolutionize professional wrestling as seen on television with everything that they did to spice up the world-class production. It was amazing, and it was the forebearer to what WWF and WWE would do later on. When it comes to Artist Artest, that's a really sad story, and one that probably could open a bigger conversation down the line about whether or not you should have a wrestling show in this day and age and have an ambulance or have an EMT there, have something, because a lot of referees I know now are trained, and a lot of wrestlers have EMT training and can give CPR, but not having an ambulance there may have, unfortunately, we don't know whether or not it would have saved this kid's life, but that's a sad situation. And when it comes to Rico Suave, I don't think that there's a WWC you can watch from the 90s where he wouldn't be on there either managing somebody, especially a lot of the Americans that would come down, or in there in the ring. Like you said, 10 tag team title reigns with like 8 or 9 different partners. So he was a fixture down there if you go back and watch old Puerto Rican tapes from the 90s.
Also had a catastrophic injury at a DDT show. Masahiro Takanashi injured his neck. March 20th, Korakuen tournament, diagnosed with cervical vertebra C5 and C6 fracture, cervical spinal cord injury. Surgery was successful. Post-operative course is progressing well. He is currently undergoing treatment in the intensive care unit. We are very sorry we are unable to communicate with those who are concerned about him. DDT said they will make further announcements as soon as the situation becomes clear. Apologize for any concern this may cause to his fans. Ask for your continued warm support. So a cervical injury, which hopefully ends up all right. That does bring us to the actual good news that we had this weekend, which was a Chris Bay benefit show run by Future Stars of Wrestling. And Karrion Kross worked the show, wrestled Hammerstone in a match. Ace Austin was there at the show, and Swerve was there at the show, and Chris Bay was there for his own benefit show. And in fact, he walked down the ramp. He got into the ring. He did a promo thanking the fans and calling Ace Austin into the ring and telling the fans, I am nothing without you. And he's still having difficulties walking. I mean, we can be honest. But if you look at where he was and where he is now, it's quite amazing. And, you know, he just did an interview a couple of days ago, and he talked about how in, I think it was December, so it's been 3 months ago. 3 months ago, he did that video where he stood up out of the chair and then took some steps. And he talked about how, man, that was so hard, and wanted to make sure that I could not make it look terrible. And, you know, a lot of work went into standing up and taking a couple of steps. So the fact that 3 months later, he can walk all the way down to the ring, up the stairs, and get through the ropes, and get into the ring, I mean, that's very, very incredible.
Wonderful.
It's incredible.
It's inspirational. It's beautiful. I remember being a kid and one of my favorite wrestlers, Magnum TA, and got into that accident. And 6 months later at the Baltimore Arena, he comes walking out, and you have that emotional moment where he embraces Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff and people crying in the crowd. It was incredible. And for Chris Bay not to only be able to walk out there, but to walk up steps and even get in the ring, it's just he's got so much further that he's going to have to go, but the progress that he's made is just incredible, inspirational, and wonderful. And, I mean, you know, this is several weeks ago, but there was even the video of Lex Luger, yes, who was able to finally stand up out of his wheelchair without assistance. He's been doing DDP yoga, and we'll see how much improvement he can have. And, I mean, who knows? But I can tell you this for a lot of different reasons. And that is that, and I'm old, almost 50 now, and a lot has changed in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and Christopher Reeves got paralyzed, the guy that played Superman. And as a kid, I was like, man, someday that guy's going to walk again. And he didn't. He passed away. But if you look at, like, nowadays, the stuff that they can do and the stuff that they're working on, I mean, some of the stuff that they're able to do medically in terms of, like, implants in the brain that allow people to start moving their hands again, and stuff they can do for Parkinson's and stuff that they can do for cancer. I mean, so much has changed in 50 years, so we just hope that, you know, these guys are young, and hopefully 5-10 years from now, they'll be back living a full life with no restrictions. So, anyway, back in a moment with more Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.
Well, we reviewed SmackDown yesterday, Tom, and you don't even get SmackDown. You're very, just, you know how you are.
Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever. That's your impression of me?
Yeah, that's my impression of you.
Wow.
So what are we, at least, I hope you at least watch the SmackDown main event.
I watched the entire show.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that still like your review, Tom.
I went on the board, and I saw like 2 people.
Yeah, do you go on Twitter?
Yeah, I do go on Twitter,
You read my emails?
I do go on
the
Twitter.
Text messages? I mean...
Do you go on Twitter? Because if you do,
yes.
You would have seen one of the greatest moments in world history.
In world history, really.
World history. Frank Tate walked away the victor of the fight, but he walked away an even bigger winner when it comes to life. This man completed what I would say is the best high five, the best dap up in the history of the galaxy. This man had his dog. And when I say dog,
barely a dog.
I mean D-O-G and D-A-W-G. This was a dog, baby. The dog was so proud. You can see just the elation in that dog's face. He threw that paw up. He let it hang for a few moments, and then he brought it down for the dap.
Tom's not even doing this justice. Everyone has seen a dog, like you put your hand out and the dog like puts his paw up to shake hands. This freaking dog goes, ah, hoppa! Like, what? That was more than a high five. I don't even know what you would even term that. He dunked. He dunked that man.
30 million views on this clip. And that is about 1/10 of what it should have. So if you haven't seen it, you deserve it. Treat yourself. Go to my Twitter. Watch Frank Tate high five his dog.
No, he did not high five his dog.
The dog high fived him.
His dog high fived him. Yes. He just wanted like a, just boom. And this dog was like, no way, brother. You knock that man out. I'm going to give you a big time dunking high five from way up high. You go high five, up high, down low, too slow. This was an up high. Guy should have pulled his hand away.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
Man, too slow, Joe. Yeah, it was pretty good. Not going to lie. I liked it. Is here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com.
Did your arthritis kick in before the show? You seem a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just did a show with Tom.
Oh. Well.
Guys, let me tell you something now. It's a quick plug for the site. First off, if you're not a subscriber, we have a first-time special. A lot of deals on monthly or annual. And you can go to f4wonline.com/new and sign up today. WrestleMania season's a great time to do so. Or we have $9.99 podcast-only subscription options through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And you can just go to the places by typing in F4W Online. f4wonline.com/Apple, which offers a free trial, by the way. f4wonline.com/Spotify or f4wonline.com/YouTube. WrestlingObserver.com, F4WOnline.com. They have everything. You get all the podcasts, all of the archives, all of the Observer archives. There's plenty of stuff up there. But anyway, you should sign up. It's Mania season. And you can listen to 84 of these podcasts every month if you've got the time. But one you should listen to is Filthy Four Daily that I just finished with Tom. Because on Monday, Tom is the SmackDown reviewer. That's his beat. He reviews SmackDown, you see. And so he was, I guess, reviewing it. And he thought, what would happen if I asked ChatGPT to do a recreation of myself and Bryan reviewing Smackdown. And ChatGPT churned out a script. A script of Tom and I reviewing Smackdown on the radio show. So what we did is we did our usual review, and then we restarted the show with the music, and we did a dramatic reading of AI script of Tom and I reviewing Smackdown. It is atrocious. Embarrassing. Like, I swear to God, I've been doing this show for a long time. And, maybe you guys... I have a feeling that some of you will, listen to this and go, wasn't that bad. But, for me, reading myself, an AI script of me, I was so embarrassed. I don't know how, if you watch the video, I'm not beat red reading these stupid lines. It's just God, and the irony of a scripted review of a show with scripted promos. I'm not quite sure what was more embarrassing. My reading of myself reviewing SmackDown created by AI, or the actual Tiffany Stratton script that she had to read going up against Charlotte, who was doing everything in her power to sink her. Oh, my God. But anyway, if you want to hear it, today's Filthy Four Daily with myself and Tom Lawler. Not one to miss. Not one to miss.
He must have been really excited about that concept, because I
was more excited than him until we started. And then, I once was kind of an actor, I had a period where I did, a bunch of student films and commercials. And
you were a period.
And such. And so I started reading it, and I was like, should I try to actually act this out? Or should I make it clear this is a dramatic reading? Part of me, wanted to be, a good actor, but then the other part of me was I'm just too embarrassed. It's just, oh, my God, it was horrible.
Okay, well, in that case, who would you actually get to play yourself suffering through all of this stuff?
It would have to be someone very handsome. That's all I care about, really. But anyway, check it out on the Filthy Four show. It's just golly, it's something else. Maybe I'll put the whole... Actually, what I might do is, if you're one of my subscribers on X, I like to plug my X subscriptions. I'm going to put up some pictures yesterday of when we went to Granny's old folks home for our weekly dinner there. That was something else. And I'll also put up the script itself. If you're an X subscriber, I'll send you the actual script. If by chance you want to follow along. Hideous. So anyway, Raw apparently starts in an hour. Somebody asked if that's why we did the Tom Show early. Now, the Tom Show needs to be done either before Observer Live, or he needs to be a part of Observer Live. We can't do it in the afternoon anymore. The timing just doesn't work. But no, that's not why. But yes, Raw
declines as the day goes on.
Raw will be starting in an hour, or actually in a half hour. Right when this show ends, Raw starts.
Were they, Ireland or Scotland?
I don't know, but I'm irritated because the last time they were, last week when they went out of the country and Netflix aired the show live, we had to sit through commercials. They changed the way it works on Netflix. Normally, when you watch on delay, they cut out the commercials. They didn't do that. And not only did they not cut out the commercials, but if you watch it on an iPad, you can't skip the commercials either. So I normally watch on an iPad because, number one, for convenience, and number two, I find it to have a better picture quality than my computer or TV because of the slightly smaller screen. It looks very nice. But I was forced to not watch it on my iPad. I had to watch
radio right here.
Either on the television or on the computer, like I'm a 600-year-old man, so I could skip through these stupid commercials. So I think we're gonna have to suffer through it again this week because, and I think the reason that they did it is because, most of us are normal, and we're not watching the show live. We're gonna watch it when we normally watch it at night. And since I think the vast majority of people doing so would, they not watch the commercials, they're forcing the commercials in. So once it goes back to its normal time slot, I'll bet you anything they go back to the way they were doing it before. And last thing, I'm not mad at you. Okay? I'm not mad at you.
Or upset.
But I feel like I have to explain this every day. When I rant about issues that I have, whether it's AEW, WWE, Raw, SmackDown, when I rant about that here on the show, I realize that we live in a society where everyone's all about themselves, okay? But I'm not looking for a solution for me. I'm angry about how it also affects everybody. So the first thing that people always say is get a VPN. That solves the problem for me, but not for anybody else. So I'm always looking for a solution that will apply to everybody. Every week, like last week, I had to sit through these stupid commercials and I was irritated. And I was like, is this happening to everybody or just me? And I start getting bombarded with, Brian, there's sites on the internet where you can watch it without commercials. Brian, here's a link to a site that you can, Brian, get a, I was like, I know there are solutions for just me. But like, if everybody has to suffer, I want to figure out a way, okay, well, what can everybody do? Everybody's not going to go pay $10 a month for a VPN, okay? If there's an easy way to help everybody, that's what I'd like. Yeah, I realize if I watch the show on Max, I don't have to worry about YouTube TV cutting off the end of the show because they always have an overrun. But you know what? The bigger issue is you always have an overrun and a lot of people can't watch the end of your show. That's the problem, not me. You realize that once... Every week, when they do an overrun, they lose viewers. Do you realize this? Every week. It happened again last week. They did an overrun on Dynamite and they lost viewers. It's virtually impossible to lose viewers in an overrun. They do it every single week, okay? Part of that is they do an overrun and they don't alert YouTube TV and those people don't get to watch the end. I don't have to worry about it anymore because I watch on Max and so I see the whole show. But for everybody that doesn't have Max, the problem is still there. And I'm trying to help everybody here. I'm trying to help AEW not lose viewers in the overrun. I'm trying to help viewers get to see the end of the show. I'm trying to help everybody here. But instead, you can watch it on whatever. I know I can. I'm trying to be helpful. You understand? I'm trying to be helpful.
Paying for the ad-free?
Ad-free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Paying out the buttholio here. I still have to watch these commercials.
So you didn't get to see that sweet segment backstage with the Creeds and Ivy Nile where they were showing off their gear before they came to the ring?
I didn't see that. I didn't need to. I just saw them when they came out.
Man. Another reason to watch this show live now, which makes me incredibly happy because I don't get commercials. I don't get all of that nonsense, just the backstage stuff that they do in the WWE commercials, and that's it. But man, I love these shows taking place at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. God, I love this. All wrestling shows should now be in the afternoon at all times, at least on the East Coast time.
And then there's the other one. This guy goes, I had a 4K plan. I watched it late at night. No commercials. What's wrong with your account, Brian? Well, you see, as the week goes on, it's like the thing with the overrun with the YouTube TV. It's like the one I kept hearing was, I have YouTube TV. I watched it the next day, and I got the overrun. Yeah, you watch it the next day, geek. I'm trying to watch it the night of so I can do the show with Dave. Yeah, if I watched it the next day, it would be added as well. But that's the next day. I don't want to watch it the next day. I can't watch it the next day.
No.
I got to watch it the day of, which, by the way...
What?
By the way, how does it help if YouTube TV fixes it the next day when your main viewership, like your Nielsen deal, is that period? The +1 is something different.
Doesn't.
Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. I think that this show was like the best and worst of AEW.
The earliest story of this show was somebody almost died in every match. I thought MJF's head was going to fall off his body.
It looked like he put his own head into the mat as hard as he could.
Momo kicks Mercedes. Mercedes might have a bruised larynx.
I was certain Swerve had broken his neck.
Man, this dude landed right on his head.
Mariah May versus Toni Storm.
Good Lord.
Mariah gets her hands on a champagne bottle and smashes it right into Tony's crotch.
Some guy in the front row holds up a sign that goes, "For the sickos!"
It sure was.
It's like, well, goddamn, this was for the sickos, all
as
right.
sick as you can get.
Yes.
I did not have glass to the vajayjay on my bingo card. For
I don't
this
know
year.
why not.
I certainly hope not.
You should have.
What kind of bingo are we playing over there? And the two big screens just read, "The End." This, in hindsight, absolutely should have ended the show.
Maybe it should have. However, I can't guarantee that this match was going to be this good with this much heat 5 hours into the live show.
Well, there's that.
Following all those matches we saw. Like,
true.
every time people say this should main event, it's like, are you sure you want that? Then we had Takeshita and Kenny. Another incredible match.
What is up with they have an announcer that wears a mask?
Oh, no. God, please, not this.
What
Anyway, the match.
What is that about?
I actually was fixing to give Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher the highest star rating on the show, but I would say that by the last 3-4 minutes, I was like, well, you did a little too much here. People are going to be mad, but it's true. We didn't need the Spanish fly off the top of the cage. This match would have been as good or better without it.
The penis first Styles clash into the tax.
That should be a finish.
That should be a career ender. It is tomb silent.
Oh, yeah, this crowd's dead.
They've seen every single goddamn thing two human beings can do to each other, and now men are grappling.
And Jason here goes, it's go away heat, Brian. He sucks. Listen, do you guys know what go away heat is?
Listen.
There were 11,000 people in this building. It's just like when people hated Jericho. There still is no evidence that he actually ran anybody off. They just didn't want him. Like, there's a difference. You want a different champion, but who is quitting AEW because Jon Moxley retained tonight?
Put the belt on Swerve immediately, as soon as possible. It could be me, it could be you, it could be Mark, anyone.
I don't want it.
Just,
I don't want
it's run its course.
All right. Golly, this Moxley has heat with these people. What did you think, Mark?
Oh, I'm coming for you now. Oh, he punched him in the diverticulitis. Pissed like a sprinkler.
Go
Back
out, and
forth,
we are going to do
back
what was
and
billed.
forth.
No, not like this.
There was
It's not for me. Why do you like it?
No,
so
Jason.
much? Are you guys on Tony's payroll?
Better?
Back on the show. Well, what do we have coming up? Let's do that first, and we'll talk about this weekend. Raw tonight, well, in about 20 minutes. We got Lyra versus Raquel for the Women's Intercontinental title.
Might be in Ireland then.
We got Braun Breaker versus Penta for the Intercontinental title. Yes. We have Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable. CM Punk appears. And apparently he'll be appearing Wednesday on Stephanie's new podcast as well. I guess he's the first guest. And Jey Uso and a mystery partner against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And Cody and John Cena will both appear on the show.
Glasgow.
Yes.
Scotland.
And then we've got an NXT show tomorrow. Stephanie and Jada for the NXT Women's title as the opener. We've also got Stephanie defending against Fallon for the North American title later in the show, the main event. And Lexis King defends the Heritage Cup against Javon. And then for Dynamite, we actually have a ton for Dynamite. It was funny. The Sunday night, they did Saturday and Sunday Slam Dunk Collision. And at the end of the Sunday show, it was like 2019 AEW. They gave Tony Schiavone 7 segments to read. It was like the JFK assassination with Bill Mercer. 4.6 seconds. You got to have the entire thing read. And man, this guy, I mean, he is blitzing through these matches, and they literally, boom, are off the air. But anyway, we've got Kenny Omega versus Blake Christian.
What?
You heard me. Kenny Omega versus Blake Christian.
Isn't that like a match they signed for like GCW over spring break? That's what that sounds like. That is, well, that'll be pretty cool.
We have Kyle Fletcher versus Brody King.
Damn.
We have Mark Briscoe versus Takeshita.
What is going on?
I'm not making these up, dude. Like, they sound like good matches, but it's like, okay.
Is this the banger edition? Did I miss a title that they added to this show? Like, holy Moses.
We got Hobbs versus Mark Davis.
Well, it's a big man on Wednesday night sort of deal.
We have Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa versus Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. FTR to a sit-down interview, and MJF responds to MVP's offer to join the Hurt Syndicate.
Do you think Dax and Cash will bring up their family during that promo?
I mean, it's possible. It's just funny looking at this because in every single one of those top 4 matches, it's like they're going to be real good matches, but why are they happening? Aside from, these will be good matches this week.
Well, you see, Brian, the guy that runs the company is a madman, from what I've been told on this show. Maybe it was a
this is different
thing. Oh,
this is
okay.
Different.
I'm sorry.
This is just like he decided this week he was going to do Battle Bowl, the singles version.
Well, which pisses me off in a way because obviously, being a huge Mark Briscoe fan, this is going to be another match that he probably loses. But at least I guess I get to see Mark Briscoe on TV against Takeshita, and I'm not going to be too upset about that.
And then this coming Friday on SmackDown, LA Knight, Braun Strowman for the U.S. title, and the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly for the tag team titles. So there you go. Title heavy.
Still there.
Title heavy. All right, so a couple of notes from the weekend shows. SmackDown, well, how much do I really need to talk about this show? The only things of note that, you can get the whole review with Tom. Twice, actually. Tiffany and Charlotte face-to-face was freaking terrible. Absolutely terrible. I have no desire to see this match. I have no desire to see these two interact again. It's just like, it was bad, dude.
I think Charlotte Flair has become the person that Randy Orton is to a lot of folks, where... Man, Charlotte Flair.
In what way?
In that she's really good, and she puts on really good matches in big situations, and she's a star and all that. But I just don't want to see her kind of interact with anybody because there is such a margin there where if it's not Bianca or Rhea, it may not be very good, and she may not be very interested. And coming off of B-Fab and now with Tiffany, this ain't going to work. It doesn't feel like it's working. I could be dead wrong about the whole thing, but I just see Charlotte Flair in this era of women who are coming up, especially from NXT, and I don't know. I'm just not that interested in her as a character. And I know that's the same way that a lot of people are with like somebody like a Randy Orton.
Here's why I say that's a preposterous comparison.
Go ahead.
Well, the big difference is that Randy Orton is beloved.
I'm not saying it's a 1-to-1. Wait a second. He's not beloved by... I love him. He's not beloved by a lot of people. He's beloved by a lot of workers. No, he's not. A lot of people think he's still boring and sucks. I swear to God, that's been the knock against Orton for years.
Far more people hate Charlotte than Randy. And the other big difference is Randy is old, and he's rich, and he doesn't care. Like... He's going to go out there, and he's going to have fun. And if you asked him...
The original Okada.
If you asked him... Like, I'll give you a good example. That match with Carmelo Hayes. I mean, made the guy look great. He beat him, but he made him look great, did his thing, gave him plenty, and whatever. And if they would have asked him, hey, go out there and put over Carmelo, he'd have done it. Wouldn't care.
You're doing a 1-to-1 here. You're doing.
But
way
Charlotte,
too
on the
much.
other hand, it seems exceedingly concerned about her spot. Doesn't want to give it up. Don't want to give anybody anything. I mean, I've been more defensive of Charlotte than a lot of people. But the last 2 weeks, brother, that match she had with B-Fab, that match, man, she let her sink. B-Fab jumped overboard from the Titanic, and Charlotte kept the life jacket. And then it was the exact same thing verbally with Tiffany. Tiffany was like, she's green, she's not very good at talking, and Charlotte ran her over. And 2 weeks now. So, no, I do not see a big... I don't.
No, look, I'm just saying in the fact that I could really take her or leave her. If you told me who would you want to see back from injury first, Asuka or Charlotte Flair, it would be Asuka. And I look at the Stephanie Vaquers and Julia's and Roxanne Perez's and Fallon Henley's and these other people who are on the Jada Parker who are on the way up. And I just, again, it's not that I don't care, but I don't. I guess that's compared to a lot of people, I just don't care about Charlotte Flair, the character.
We also had numerous upsets, which you wouldn't know if you listened to ChatGPT. Hey, you know you're going to learn if you listen to me and Tom do our dramatic reading of Smackdown as written by ChatGPT?
What's that?
These robots aren't taking over anytime soon. They aren't that smart. I mean, it's abundantly clear. So we had two upsets. Piper beat Zelina, and Liv Morgan beat Jade. And honestly, in both cases, I was surprised, but I had no problem with it. Because we have a month until WrestleMania. Zelina doesn't need to earn her title shot with 4 weeks left. She can have to go through Alba, have to go through Piper again, work her way up the ladder, that's fine. And with Jade and Liv, it's like Liv isn't some nerd on the roster. She's one half of the tag team champions, unless you listen to ChatGPT, I might add. But she's one half of the tag team champions. And, you know, Jade, no one thought Jade was losing to Liv. Nobody thinks Jade is losing to Naomi. And so what they did is she lost to Liv, and she got beat up by Naomi. And so they're trying to at least put some doubt. They're giving her a mountain to climb, which I guess is twice I've used that term on this show. But I had no problem with it. And it was only the third pinfall in her entire career. Third.
And if it's going to happen, have it be to somebody like Liv Morgan, who, you know, we're starting to wonder, okay, what is going to be the next plan for her after all of this stuff? You know, can she continue to ascend as far as her popularity and all that goes? So, yeah, her getting a victory, that's actually a good thing.
And then the other notable thing was this main event segment. Holy smokes. My God. There was nothing... I shouldn't say there was nothing wrong with it, because everything was wrong with it. But on paper, there was nothing wrong with it. Roman, Seth, and Punk came out. They had a verbal battle. They got into a fight. They announced a three-way for Mania. Okay, that's what happened on paper. But, like, the thing was, this was a great crowd, but they got tired after the second hour. And the reaction to these three in the main event segment made it seem like, here's three lost souls who have no path to WrestleMania. So let's put them in a three-way together. That's what this felt like. But it's Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. They're three of the biggest stars in the company. Like, this should feel like a major big league match. And it just feels like something for three guys to do on the big show of the year. The fans weren't into it like it was a big thing. The brawl was just there. Like, we see brawls every week. Tiffany and Charlotte had a 10 times better brawl than this on last week's show. It was just there. And when it was over, I was like, man, I hope they got a plan. Like, they got to do something with Paul and Punk where you're wondering if Paul's going to turn on Roman, or they got to do something. Number one contenders match, winner gets whatever. Something. Because it just felt like nothing. It just felt like nothing out there.
Well, they've been doing this for so long, too, and they've been tied into each other for so long, and we've seen all of these brawls, and we just saw Punk and Rollins have an incredible brawl, and Reigns then returning and stomping Rollins and all that sort of stuff. So, we've had a lot of emotion that's been dragged out of the fans anyway in the lead up to everything that's going on at Mania. So they are going to have to kind of throw some sort of curveball in there. And you're right, it's probably going to come from Paul Heyman just because of his relationship with CM Punk.
And a couple of notes on the collision at night 1 and night 2. I would say that the only thing, like if you have to watch something but don't have time to watch 2 shows, watch the main event of the second show. It's only the whole match is only like 9 minutes, and a bunch of that is during a break. But like the last 6 minutes of Beast Mortos and Dralistico versus Hologram and Commander, this would be one of the best things you'd see in Arena Mexico. I mean, it is just 4 guys doing 6 straight minutes of awesome lucha high spots leading to a finish. I mean, I was watching this show, and before that last commercial break, I was like, this was a waste of my time. Like, it's okay, but like, there's nothing special about it. The crowd is absolutely exhausted. They're 4 hours into a taping in a blizzard. But the last 6 minutes of this show were absolutely incredible. So that is what I would watch if you only have a few moments. If you have more than a few moments, you can watch...
only have a few moments, watch Harley Graham's interview.
No, that was not as good as the last 6 minutes of that main event.
Dress is something.
The Mark Briscoe, Hobbs, and Rocky versus Takeshita, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage.
That was good.
The last 6 minutes of that was awesome. And, otherwise it was just like, it was an easy hour the first night. A little harder the second night till they end. But it was fine. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We got a big Elimination Chamber report here. And also Collision from Saturday, which actually was a pretty damn good show in its own right.
I was not told to watch Collision.
Vinny?
I forgot to text him Thursday night. I figured he'd be in bed. I said I'd do it tomorrow. And then Friday I bought a car. I was busy, and I've been forgotten. John comes out, looks into the camera, and says, "There's a vibe in here tonight."
Sure is.
I'll see. Punk's eyes are bugging out of his head. Seth is still there screaming, "Die, die!" And Seth gets his way. Punk dies. John Cena wins. I thought the finish of this was incredible. Great stuff.
God, Travis Scott. Jesus God almighty. This was exactly like when Hogan used to come to the ring, Dennis Rodman trailing him, and Dennis Rodman was like on another planet. He had no idea where he was at, stumbling to the ring. He had basically have to drag him down there. This Travis Scott was on another planet, dude.
Well, the first time he was on the show was on that Raw show. He was smoking a blunt in the audience.
They go from the hug to a shot of Cena's angry heel face, and they cut right to Rock On. And then he kicks him right in the balls. And the crowd freaked out. The John Cena turned heel. Hulk Hogan, he was getting booed before he turned. It was a risk, but, they were getting sick of the guy anyway. The problem with Steve Austin was he was the top babyface, and there was nobody to replace him when he turned. John Cena's been gone forever. He comes back. It's not like he was going to be the top babyface. They got 50 babyfaces. Cody's the biggest babyface they got. There's no risk whatsoever turning John Cena heel. He's 10 times more interesting now. The Cena and Cody feud is 1,000 times more interesting.
Travis hit Cody Rhodes in the face as hard as he could. I bet that sucked.
This was a big deal, and I didn't see it coming.
You guys need to listen to Observer Live on Friday.
No thanks.
Because some dude called in, all bombastic and outrageous.
Do y'all think that John Cena is going to be the one that turns heel and joins The Rock as his champion?
No chance. And I shot him down. I laughed at him.
Wow.
I said it's not going to happen. John Cena's here to sell tickets and merch as a babyface for his last year. He ain't turning heel.
They need to make shirts for John Cena that just say, "Can you see me now?"
I got to apologize to old Dwayne. I thought that guy was out of his mind. He got me. It was awesome. I cannot wait to see where they go here. Raw is about to start.
Woo!
Yes. You going to watch it live?
Of course.
I'm not. I'm going to go eat lunch.
Oh, are you kidding me? You got dinner coming up here as soon as the thing.
Dinner?
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
I haven't eaten anything since 5 o'clock yesterday. Can you believe that?
5 o'clock.
Yeah. 5 o'clock yesterday.
Well, it is a time that usually you would eat at an old folks' home. Sounds right.
It is. They eat early. And it's only open for an hour and a half. Like, they serve food between 4:30 and 6, and then you're out of luck, brother. You're out of luck. I get in early.
Do you sneaker, if that happens, can you sneaker some Wendy's?
You don't sneak anything. It's an apartment.
Well,
I could bring her whatever I wanted. I could bring her a pig.
Wendy's, though?
I don't know if they allow that in there, actually. But anyway, hey, listen, we got a lot of shows, past and future. So last night, I did a Bryan and Vinny show talking Smackdown and Collision. Then I did a show with Dave talking all of the news. I've already done a Filthy Tom show this morning. I just did this show. And then I got Observer Radio again with Dave tonight talking Raw and all of the news. So that's 5 shows in 36 hours. So for those of you wondering if you should sign up, yeah, absolutely. You should. You will get your money's worth. So sign up, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or the main site, f4wonline.com. You can use f4wonline.com/new to get a first-time subscriber discount. But a lot of shows coming up. We'll be back tomorrow here, and we'll talk Raw and all of the news. And also a Bryan and Vinny show tomorrow. It would be Mid-South Wrestling, I'm pretty sure Season 6, Episode 18. I'll find out for sure later on, but you can follow along with us, watch some old school wrestling, everybody. But we're out of here. Thanks, Mike, as always. Callers and listeners, everybody in the studio. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.